In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and a behind the scenes look on how to film yourself during your next hiking trip. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. Now today I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to film better and beautiful hiking videos. Before we hop into the actual tips and tricks specifically, I want to show you the behind the scenes of how I just shot that little intro there. So for this first shot, what I'm doing is I'm setting up a wide shot. So this is gonna be like an establishing shot for the audience so they know where I am and just sort of show like a breathtaking view right off the bat to keep people interested in the video. Because it's really important to include some beautiful shots right at the start of the video so that people will be like, oh damn, okay. So the mountain comes down to meet the buildings at this point, which is almost at the same point as where this fence kind of meets at a point. So it's like an arrow pointing towards where the mountains meet the city. And so it's quite a nice composition. And so what I've tried to do is set up the camera where it's capturing me in the middle of that arrow pointing out towards the view. I've got the focus at f.4 and it's focusing on the ridge of the mountain. It's not focusing on me because I don't want the audience to really focus on me, and me wearing black against this anyway, I'll stand out. I don't want to be focused on. I want the first shot to be all about the view, and so that's why I've chosen to have that manual focus set on the horizon. So the second shot that I'm trying to get with my camera is getting, where is it? There, that building there. I want the focus to be on that building and have me really blurred out and have a close-up of me looking at that building, because that building is really dense and I think it's the most interesting thing in the environment. So I want to get a bit of a mix of shots, one wide angle and then one closer up, just to show the denseness of that building. And I think that's really important when you're filming your hiking videos, is to include variety in your shots. Close-ups will show the details of your views, whereas wide shots will just show establishing and very dramatic shots. But it's important to get a range of all of them to tell your hiking story properly. So right now I'm trying to set it up to where it's focused in on the building. Again, I'm using a very shallow aperture, and that means that I'm going to be totally blurred out, so all the focus is going to be on that building. I have almost finished the intro sequence. I actually thought I was done with just the first two shots, but I just had a moment to sort of look around with my camera, and I just realized some angles that I really like, which makes me want to kind of extend it a bit longer to show off more of the cool elements that are part of this viewing point. And so that's a good thing to keep in mind whenever you're filming hiking videos. What makes that hike so special? Is it a deserted desert that has crazy sandstorms or cool patterns on the floor? Or is it like an urban sort of hike which has amazing buildings jutting up out above even where you're standing? So it really depends what elements make your hike so special, and really focus on those, because that's what people want to see. And also just make sure what I was doing there is that my shots match together. So I got one close-up shot and then I walk out of that shot and then a wide shot showing me to continue walking. You want all your shots to kind of link together. I think anyway, the idea with hiking videos is to try and make people lost in them, almost forget that it's even being filmed, just like they're joining you on the hike. So if your shots don't match up, if you're walking in one shot and the next shot you're totally stable, you're not moving at all and you haven't showed yourself stopping, the audience will be like, huh, that doesn't really make sense, and that'll take them out of the video. For this shot, what I'm doing is I'm gonna get another variation of shot that I think is important to get in hiking videos, which is your feet. I'm gonna show myself stopping to look at this final view by showing my feet stop first, so I'm not showing the view yet. That means the next shot, which is going to be a wide shot, will hopefully be very dramatic to the audience, because it's almost like a reveal, right? Like if you just see the feet, it leaves the audience quite curious. Why did he stop and stuff like that? So it's just like a fun thing to do. You don't always have to show the view straight away. You can find fun and creative ways to kind of keep the audience waiting and excited to see what you're seeing. And so what I've done is I've got the camera low, I've lined it up with a sort of, again, a symmetrical pattern going out towards the view. I've done very close up so you can't see the view. And again, the next shot will be wide of the view. So hopefully it'll look cool. Now that I've shown you how I filmed that intro bit, I am actually gonna go for a little bit of a hike, because I think what better way to show you how I film my hiking videos than by actually having a little hike and showing you the behind the scenes of how I'm gonna film it. So that's what I'm doing. I got the camera up there, and yeah, let's head on into the forest and start hiking, exploring, and learning. What a combo. I'm just here now at the start of the trail. So lucky today the weather is on my side. It is looking vibrant and beautiful, and weather is obviously a big factor when it comes to filming. It's not that sunny is necessarily the best, but I personally really like clear days. It's nice just to hike in, and it's also just beautiful to film. It's always vibrant. I would recommend, if it's a sunny day, trying to go for somewhere with a lot of green, because that green is just going to be totally highlighted. I just filmed myself a long shot walking up, trying to keep it symmetrical, keeping the sort of the leading line of the path going up as I'm walking up, just right in the middle of the camera and right in the middle of the frame. So it's a simple shot, it's a balanced shot. The thing when you're filming hiking videos is I'm gonna do this walk a couple of times, so I'm not just gonna do one shot. So I've got the wide shot, which is establishing, but I wanna get a couple of other shots to link them together. The more variety you have in shots for the same action or the same path, the more exciting your video will be. And so I'm gonna do this a couple more times. It's a great workout. As you can see, I'm sweating, but that's all right. This is what you sign up for whenever you wanna film a cinematic hiking video. So the next tip is gonna be where you place your camera. Something I really like to do in videos is place my camera in with the greenery. I think it just adds extra elements, which makes the frame more exciting. So let's do that. Oh, it's hot. It's a real hot day. So as you can see, I've just got my camera set up there. It's right beside the path, but I've put it in a little dip so that the grass is actually above my lens. The important thing when you're doing this though, is to have manual focus on and to put it at a very low aperture. You don't want anything above 5.6 maybe. Anything above that and the grass will be too in focus, and if it's too dense, then you won't even really be able to see yourself walking by. So the thing is, when you're doing hiking videos that you have to keep in mind is that sometimes you're gonna be challenged, and so I would just say, always remember that the extra effort is always gonna result in extra quality. There's a lot of stairs. I'm gonna use one big long shot just to really emphasize how long it takes to get up these stairs. And it is a beautiful path up, surrounded by a sea of green. So I think a long shot really works here. But again, I'm gonna have to go all the way up, all the way down, get the camera, and then all the way up again. And so this is the thing to keep in mind. If you wanna get the best shots, you gotta put in the effort. You gotta be willing to produce buckets of sweat, so much sweat perhaps that it could create a minor tsunami. Alright, so I just did the stairs of doom and death, and while I was up there I realized that maybe even these stairs are too long for a long shot, so I'm gonna mix it up, do one fully wide shot and one zoom in shot right at the end. The zoom in shot brings all the stairs really close together, so it shows lots of stairs. I've zoomed in the lens now, and so let's do it one more time with a zoomed in shot. So I got another tip for you. Something I like to do whenever I'm filming videos with those shots where I'm walking through the frame is if there's a certain area in that frame I want the viewer to focus on, because naturally the viewer, whenever you're filming, will always focus on you because you're the moving thing. But if you want them to say focus on the view behind you, a really simple way, which sounds obvious, is if you just turn around in the video and look at the view. The audience will then go, oh, what are you looking at? And they'll move their eyes from you to where you're looking. For hiking, you gotta remember you're gonna be on that trail for, you know, I would say most trails, at least half an hour. Some trails are multiple days, right? So it's a different style of filming than travel vlogs. It's much better to take your time when filming hiking videos. Take a moment, take a break if you need to, grab some water, sit down, think about your shots, frame them correctly, especially if you're filming on your own. It's better to have fewer shots that are great than have a ton of shots that suck a massive ass. Another thing to keep in mind when you're filming is that not all your shots are gonna be found on the path. Sometimes it means you're gonna have to go off path a little bit. Just make sure to be mindful not to trample on any flowers or things that look like they're being planted. But going off trail can really help you get a unique perspective on trail. And so your viewers will usually appreciate it. And so right now, I just noticed that the steps going up are right beside a forest with some off-trail paths, so I'm just following it to see what perspectives I can get of the actual trail, and then I'll shoot through the forest trees hopefully. So I'm shooting with the tree here, path here, and then some trees on the right. So it's quite well balanced. It's really nice to shoot through a forest because you get that green vibrancy. And because I'm wearing black, I'm gonna contrast quite nicely, I think, the green, because it's very bright and I'm very dark. And that, oh, there we go. Just another tip. Flew into my head like a bird that can't fly very well. Be careful what you wear. I will usually try to wear black or red because those usually contrast the environment nicely. If you're wearing green and you're walking through green, shots like this one might not work. So I've got for you the next tip. We are here at a part of the hike which I think is really cool, and say I was making a video all about this hike, it's something that I would want the viewer to see and to think is cool also. And that is that there's like an old bunker right here and it's beside the trail. This part of the hike is a really cool segment of the hike, and so that's something important to keep in mind when you're filming hikes, is the storyline of your hike. At a very simple point, you've got 3 elements: start, middle, and end. The start, you're entering; middle, you're walking; end, you're looking at a view, or you're finishing at the car park, or whatever that may be. However, in that middle part, you're gonna come across some really cool places. So whether that is a nice view you didn't know about, a landmark worth showing, anything like that, that's gonna make up a part of your video. And if you wanna share that with the viewer, you should think, how are you gonna put together that part? So for example, this bunker, right? Say I'm walking and then I stumble across it. What I might want to do is get one establishing shot of the bunker, me walking up, showing that I've just found it. Then maybe something like this with me going like, whoa, all right guys, I've just found a bunker. Something like that, something talking to the camera, telling you what you found. And then next, what you might want is some close-up shots, some B-roll of the actual bunker. That way you're showing more the bunker, you're showing that this is a highlighted part of the trip. And so while you're hiking, while you're filming, you should think about what parts of your hike do you want to highlight and how are you going to do that. Whoa! I don't know why I did that. All right guys, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it was helpful, and I do have a ton more tips. So if you would like to see another video like this, all about tips on how to do better hiking videos, please let me know. I know this is a bit different to what I usually do, and if you would like to see the whole of this trail hiked, I'm going to be doing that very soon. This is a gorgeous trail, and I'm going to be filming a cinematic hiking video coming out soon, all about my adventure through this trail. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.